It's a bright Monday morning as we wait for our somewhat delayed Empire Builder heading to Chicago. It's about 45 minutes late, which is actually not a bad thing, gives us a bit of time for breakfast. So here's our train being led by two ALC 42s, number 300 in the lead, which is one of the original ones, and a rather venerable General Electric P42 Genesis locomotive. So we've got three locomotives, plenty of power. As the train rolls into Whitefish station, and here we are leaving with the BNSF yard. Plenty of graffiti, as you can see, as we start to head east into the valley. You see the Rocky Mountains in the background. As we come into Columbia Falls, industrial town. I do remember driving through Columbia Falls and seeing a sign which was the opposite of North Face. There's an old power station that's been decommissioned, has been demolished. Not sure where they get the power from, but that's on the west side of the Rocky Mountains. And here's our first view of the middle fork of the Flathead River, which we will be following for many miles. Here is the river again. So typical North American railroad fashion, they tended to follow rivers because they were not too steep a gradient. And here's the river again, plenty of lumber floating in the river. And again, you can see the start of Glacier National Park in the background. As we pass through West Glacier, my apologies, West Glacier, otherwise known as Agpar. And here we are in Essex, leading up to the Isaac Walton Hotel, which we had planned to stay at, but unfortunately they decided to close it for refurbishment. So it's still on my bucket list. This was the original lodging for the Great Northern employees, especially those used in the helper yard in the background. One old caboose. Is the plural of caboose, I don't know. There is a station stop now. It used to be a flag stop, but now it's a full stop at Essex, where patrons using the Isaac Walton Inn would alight and board the train. Apparently the platform has heating underneath to make sure it doesn't freeze over. And here we are. Heading up the Marias Pass and seeing the Flathead River again in the background, doing its loops. The train skirts the southern edge of Glacier National Park, and there's a wolf. And there's a balloon track where they used to turn the helper engines. So you see it going off there, and it comes back in here. So it goes in a complete circle. Look from above, it looks like a balloon. And here we are seeing the southeastern corner of Glacier National Park. It's called Glacier Park because it was glaciated. It's not because of the number of glaciers that are in there. There are some glaciers, but they're diminishing because of rising temperatures. Well worth a visit. As we come into East Glacier. Device for stopping the winds from blowing cars off the track. Now, East Glacier Station is only open during the summer months, typically May through October, I think. And Browning Station, which we'll see later on, is the one that's closed during the summer months, but it reopens during the winter months. There's a few people waiting to get on. And that was a very quick stop. One of the old GN lodgings in the background, hotel. And they even played golf out here. Not sure what it would be like in the middle of winter when there's snow on the ground and you can't see a white ball, but now we're crossing Two Medicine Creek on a high trestle. The creek being fed by Two Medicine Lake in the Glacier National Park. As we head further east, the landscape tends to be more rolling hills. We're waiting for a freight train to go past. And there it is. Coming to Browning, which is the home of the Blackfeet tribe. Big Sky Country. So this is the station stop during the winter months when East Glacier is closed. Start to pick up speed as we head further east towards Cut Bank. One of the wires they use for turning locomotives. Even though it's very sunny, it was also slightly misty, so there are some mountains about 30 miles away that on a really clear day you can actually see. They're up near the Canadian border. But as I say, they're about 30 miles away. So that gives you an impression of the scale of the countryside. I can see why they call it Big Sky Country, because it's massive, it's huge. Plenty of cattle, plenty of farming. And here we are at Cut Bank, where the river has actually cut into the bank. Plenty of trucks, some of them quite old, as you can see there. Grain elevators. Out into farm country. It's hard to imagine living in the UK with 70 million people that there are only 1 million people in an area which is twice the size of the UK. That railroad line comes in from Canada, so there's a transfer point where trains coming in from Canada head on to BNSF. And here we are at Shelby having a smoke break, fresh air break, stretch your legs break, crew change. Somebody described it, it's a cute town. Not quite sure how they managed to get that, but they live there, so I can only imagine they think it's cute. But I call it cute? No, probably not. Yes, that's a stockyard waiting for. Oh, it's got some cattle in there. Plenty of communities that just grow up, and that's where people. And there was a cloud, yes. Nature Reservoir, I believe. Can't remember the name of it. And here we are at Havre as a service point. This is the one of the Northern 4x4 locomotives that used to pound the rails here. It's on static display. Looking a little bit sad, I think. Needs a bit of tender loving care. But these things, compared with UK locomotives, this thing is huge. As we head further east, we get joined by the Milk River, which I believe flows into the Mississippi. This river tends to meander. Oxbow Lakes and plenty of work going on. As we come into Malta, not to be confused with the Malta in the Mediterranean Sea. And there's the westbound builder. They'll do in nature reserve. That building you can see in the middle, and further back there is also some building which is only just discoverable. That was an old round house that they used for servicing locomotives. I only discovered it by chance by using Google Earth, but there's definitely an old round house there, which you can just about make in the middle underneath the lake. Hang on, we're going backwards. What happened? Ah. Yes, we had a meet where there was a westbound. So what we had to do was go into a siding where there's already a train heading west. We had to wait for the westbound to go past and then reversed out to the siding before we could switch and go back east again. One of the problems when there's no double track for miles and miles and miles is they rely on sidings to get trains past each other, but when it's very busy, as this happened, then this is what happened. Now we're heading back east again. More stockyards waiting for some cattle. Now this is Glasgow, Montana. In the middle distance in the background on the top of that hill you can just make out a G. I think this is for the airfield there. Lots of maintenance of way equipment getting ready. And here we are arriving at Wolf Point, Montana, the last station in Montana before we cross into North Dakota, and a change in time. Thanks for watching.